The next assignment that I want to talk about is the meeting assignment. Again, this is another one that you need to look at the calendar in advance, not just your calendar, but your church's calendar or a ministry calendar or something like that. This is one, if you don't plan in advance, you're going to come down to the end and you're going to be begging for an extension, and I'm telling you right now, your extension is being given right now. When the due date comes, the due date comes, okay? So there is no extension. The meeting assignment, one of the things about this particular course, we're talking about administration, and most people hate meetings, and there's a reason for that. The main reason for that is most meetings are not well organized, well constructed, no agenda is involved, there's just not a very good process for handling the meeting. We're going to talk about that towards the end of the course, with the 4 Ds of an effective meeting, and we'll actually work through a meeting. We'll actually host a mock meeting within the class for that particular week. What this assignment is to do is to help expose you to some things that will help make a meeting more effective. Some of you probably attend churches that have very well organized meetings, others not so much. Okay, so what makes an effective meeting? Well, in this assignment, there are a few questions that you need to ask. What kind of organization does it use? We typically talk about something like Robert's Rules. Does the church or does the organization use Robert's Rules? If so, were they effectively used? Okay, to know that, you need to know a little bit about Robert's Rules, and I've uploaded a PDF into course content that can do that. You can research more about that online. You can order the full book, which I think is like 800 pages, because Robert's Rule is really meant for parliamentary procedures, and when we think of parliamentary, think British Parliament. Okay, so it's really meant for a Congress, Parliament, that kind of organization, but it's adaptable and has been adapted for churches. So that's one aspect. Was the meeting effective? Did it accomplish its purpose? Do you even know what the purpose for the meeting was? Maybe it was a staff meeting, maybe it was a business meeting, maybe it was an organization meeting, maybe it was a mission team meeting, something like that. Now please note that there is a minimum number of attendees that must be a part of this meeting to get credit. Again, all of that information is included in the file that I've uploaded for the assignment guide. The last component of this is what we call the cost of the meeting. Okay, and you might say, well, it's a business meeting, we don't have any cost when we have a business meeting. And from an explicit cost, that might be true. No money was actually handed out. But realize that every person who attends a meeting, including yourself, there is an implicit cost. If you were not at the meeting, you could be doing something else. For some people, that means they could be working. There is also the cost, a literal cost of gasoline for traveling back and forth. I'm not worried about the gas prices because those obviously fluctuate, but there is a cost. Let's say that the meeting is an hour and it takes somebody 15 minutes to get to the church and 15 minutes to get back. They spend an hour and a half of time involved in this meeting. So to get an average cost, what we're looking for is you to, and there's an example online, or there's all kinds of examples online that you can find on this, but you need to find the average wage or the median wage for your city or town, or a county even. Okay, don't go beyond the county because state has too much of a diversity in that. But then you can calculate based upon the number of people there, the time of the meeting, including their driving time, and the average cost or the median wage for an employee within your location. You can calculate an effective cost for the meeting. If your meeting has an actual cost to it, like for instance you serve food or something like that, you can include that. You don't need to worry about things like markers or paper or lights and electricity and those kinds of things, because those are just inherent anyway, and we're not going to get that detailed. But knowing how much a meeting costs, at least inherently, will help you to determine whether or not meetings are necessary. Some of the meetings for you all might be a couple $100. For some of you, it might be a couple of $1,000. A couple of $1,000 worth of a cost means we need to make sure that the meeting is really worth it. Finally, two other quick thoughts about the meeting assignment. Number one, I would prefer that you're not the lead or the moderator or the host of the meeting. Ideally, it's a meeting that you're attending as someone who can be objective and look at this through an objective lens, okay? That might mean that you go to another church's meeting, or you might sit in on a staff meeting, and churches will allow you to do that. But again, you need to plan ahead for this, because this is going to come due, and you need to make sure that in the first 2+ months of the class, you've found a meeting to attend. Number 2, you need to send me the moderator or the host or the leader's name and either email address and or phone number, just like you did for the interview assignments, because I will randomly check up on the various meetings that were attended to see if you were there and were a part of that meeting. So again, this has potential to transform how you understand meetings, especially how you might lead meetings in the future, whether you're a pastor or a lay leader or something like that. Look at this assignment as an opportunity to really make a difference, not only in how you view meetings, but how others view you as a leader in leading those meetings.